This one's for you. For every time you went silent just to keep the peace. For every time you said nothing because you knew that your words would be twisted. For every time you tried to take the high road and they used it to paint you as cold, distant, and unforgiving. This one's for you. They used your silence against you. You weren't cold. You were protecting yourself. You weren't distant. You were just trying to survive. You weren't unforgiving. You were trying to hold on to your dignity in a storm of manipulation. Because here's the truth. Engaging in a debate with a narcissist feels like a battle that you can't win. They are masters of gaslighting and manipulation and deflection. You find yourself trapped in circular arguments where facts just don't matter. Your feelings are dismissed, and every attempt at the truth just gets twisted and tangled. You can never resolve conflict with them, not really, because resolution requires honesty. It requires accountability. And they refuse to offer you either of those things. So what do? You protect your energy. You disengage. You stop trying to win a battle that was really rigged from the start. And silence becomes your shield. But the narcissist, they just can't stand that, because when you stop feeding their need for attention, for control, they panic. And then they twist your silence into something that it isn't and was never meant to be. They play the victim. They'll say things like, "Oh, look what I have to deal with. You won't even talk to me. You're so cold. You are just impossible." Do any of those things sound familiar? I'm sure that they must. Because narcissists are experts at generating sympathy for themselves. If you defend yourself, you risk fueling their narrative, and suddenly you are cast as the aggressive one, the unreasonable one, the unstable one. You know this. That's why you chose silence, not to give in, not to let them win, of course, but to take back your power. The silence isn't surrender. It's survival, and it takes strength to choose it. Every time you felt that you needed to defend yourself, just to be heard, just to be believed, for every time you propped up their fragile sense of self because you knew that challenging it would spark conflict and chaos, for every time you stayed silent, even when it felt wrong to do so, you knew that defending yourself would only feed their drama. For every time you resisted the urge to explain or to justify, knowing that with the narcissist, the less you say, the stronger you become. This one's for you. Because when you do defend yourself, you know they're just going to twist it. They make you look like you are the crazy one. The odds are always, always stacked against you, because they are experts at generating pity. And no matter what they've done, they will always try to cast themselves as the victim. You know, it just feels so unfair, so backward. But remember this: your restraint is not weakness. Your silence is not defeat. its wisdom, its strength, and its survival. So for every time you sat in that silence with your heart pounding, holding back the words you knew would be used against you, for every time they smeared your name and you stayed quiet to protect your peace. For every time you walked away, not because you were weak, but because you refused to let them drag you any lower. This one's for you. For those of you that are new to my podcast, I'm Kyle Hackley, attorney and author of Undercurrent. It's about a young woman named Annie who knows the horror of being in a narcissistic relationship. I think of Annie's voice as the voice for all of us, for anyone who has lived through narcissistic abuse. She's like the symbol of the courage it takes to stand up against narcissistic abuse, to protect your peace and to reclaim your voice. And it's for those truths and for those of you who have lived them, that's the reason for this podcast. And as always, I want you to remember that you are stronger than you ever believed, that you are a warrior against narcissistic abuse. And I want you to be tenacious and just never, ever give up on what's important to you. Until next time, remember that I honor your truth. I appreciate you, and that you are not alone. So thank you for being here. Thank you for always showing up. And until the next episode, bye. I'll see you next time.